Hello there and welcome to another episode of World of Tanks with Ungainly Titan. We're here on the Arctic map. I'm on the Excelsior, the Tier 5 British Premium Heavy Tank. This game was one of the highlights of my March Madness, the first weekend where we were playing the British tanks. Now, normally I kind of go, I suppose, up the one line up to the northwestern corner. However, I'm top tier, I'm in a heavy tank, and originally when this map came out first, all the heavy tanks kind of converged around that spot that I had indicated there, around H8. However, in recent times, the heavy tanks that spawn on this side of the map tend not to go there. There are a variety of reasons for this, some good, some bad. There is some merit in going there, especially if you have a reasonable amount of cover behind you. And in fact, recently the trend has been that a defensive line kind of sits up around the HJ4 or 5 line. So I've decided to actually go directly to the corner. There are a number of advantages to doing it. And one of them is that every tank that's at the other side is spotted. There's no question about tanks not being seen. So the firefight then across the open plain isn't dependent on view range, and I've managed to get across without taking any real damage. So now I've arrived at the corner, so it's a question of just trying to side scrape off the corner or off the hulk of the dead tank there in front of me. So we're trying to avoid showing as much of the tank, or as little as the front of the tank as possible, and even as little as the sides as possible, because the armour is very flat on this tank, and it's reasonable armour, but it's because it's flat, it's actually easily penetrable by most of the guns. So most biggest threat now at the moment is that T80, because he's at an angle where he can shoot through both the front of my turret and has a reasonably decent angle at the side of the tank. The hulk in front of me is protecting me from most of the tanks in front of me. So the T80's popped out again and we finish him off. So you can see there I'm bouncing a lot of shots. I've taken a few hits, mostly from that T80. The T1 Heavy's popped out there and he's actually in a good position to do me further harm. However, he's taken a lot of punishment for coming out there because there's a lot of tanks behind me. And some of them are catching up. So there's a Type 95 now who has popped out there, and he's taking a merciful pounding, so I managed to finish him off as well. So T1 Heavy has arrived to support, so it's now time to actually push out from behind my the wreck at the tank. And the T1 Heavy, I was kind of puzzled initially as to why he was doing this, and then I realised he's going to drown himself. He wants to deny the kill to any of us. Now, I don't know whether he succeeded in drowning himself or not, and I think there is a penalty nowadays for drowning yourself or deliberately destroying your tank, and that the enemy team gets the silver and experience anyway, so it's really not worth your while doing it. You'd be much better off just to fight it out. It's very unsporting in my opinion just to go off and try and drown yourself like that. If he had read the game, I mean, if he, instead of making a run for the water that time, if he had a few seconds earlier made a run for the rear, he could have possibly retreated back along the side of the cliff and had the opportunity to put a bit of extra damage into both myself and the T1 Heavy. I mean, he wouldn't have survived, but he could have gotten another 2 or 3 shots off. Mightn't have helped his team, but it would certainly help his standing in the results leaderboard at the end. So I'm driving up here. I didn't really stop for anybody. I'm basically doing the whole scouting by fire thing, not because I can see stuff, but because I'll see who shoots at me, or at least get an idea what direction they're in and drive that way, so that I'll see them eventually. So my ribbons look more like that of a scout tank at the moment. I have 5 detected, 12 assisted damage, and we have an A20. We didn't get spotting credit for it, so obviously somebody else must have spotted it, but we managed to shut him down and gain some extra assistance ribbons as well. So there's only one enemy tank left. T-34s popped over there, and we managed to put quite a fortunate round into him, really. It was a snapshot from a fair range with a gun that has a fairly long aiming time. The circle bloom is actually quite large when you look at this gun. So there's a couple of tanks closing in besides myself, and it's debatable as to what direction the T-34 is to go, but he has no real escape. Looks like he's tried to head west. He didn't probably know about the heavy tank coming up around the corner, which has come as a kind of a rude surprise. I derp a shot there, and don't actually hit with that one either, but he's finished up a shutdown. And we've almost capped anyway, so that was it. Quick, swift game. Did reasonably well. Lost money because the amount of APCR that I fired. Didn't do huge amounts of damage or huge amounts of spotting damage. Did a reasonable amount of block damage, but we got a steel wall and a second class mastery. And we got the full 5 points in the tank mastery that weekend. We came first by experience. So I thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you again soon.